if you've struggled with using the budget carriers in the past, by knowing that the bougiest among us, those of us that basically fly business class every time they cross the pond, that is not me, but a lot of our coaches are, they will fly budget carriers when it makes sense. So I think that's the key point we want you to take away, is that there is a place and a time for it, and it can be a hugely valuable tool. It can be life-changing.
Well, if you don't know Katie, she is well known for being fashionable. And yet she's also, in addition to that, our budget travel expert. Not that you can't do the higher end stuff, but not everything has to be bougie. Not everything has to be over the top. So I love that you've kind of mastered both sides of that coin. And I'm excited to hear from you today on this.
I like to lead off any discussion of budget airlines by a factoid that I think is super, super relevant, which is there is not a single coach in the JGOOT universe, including Joel, our founder, who refuses, hard stop, I will not fly a budget carrier. So I think for those of you that have gotten to know us, that are getting to know us, that are starting to trust us and say, hey, these guys kind of know what they're talking about, I hope that will kind of help you open your mind a little bit if you've struggled with using the budget carriers in the past, by knowing that the bougiest among us, those of us that basically fly business class every time they cross the pond, that is not me, but a lot of our coaches are, they will fly budget carriers when it makes sense. So I think that's the key point we want you to take away, is that there is a place and a time for it, and it can be a hugely valuable tool. It can be life-changing.
And Katie kind of set the stage for us already with these budget airlines. Were you ready to dive in, Katie?
Let's go.
All right, let's hit this first one here.
We're going to do a little
we hear a lot coming out of the gate.
I mean, this is the big one, right? Comfort is a big, big concern that people have. So first of all, realize that seat pitch is about comfort. It has nothing to do with safety. People will say, oh, they overload their planes. No, the planes can handle the people. That's not the deal. But here's the good news, right? Because we're definitely going to try to spin this into a fact that you guys can be reassured by, which is that Spirit has had, and Frontier is adding, first class, big front seat type seating. So if comfort is your biggest holdback, I have people say, I have a bad back, or I just can't take the narrow seats, I'm a bigger person. Spirit or Frontier now, you can pay a little bit more money, still stay usually under the seat selection price of a traditional carrier, and have a truly nice, comfortable seat selection. So both Spirit and Frontier, and I talk about them a lot because they tend to be the biggest here domestically. We'll talk a little bit about some of the others as well, but they're going to offer that stretch seating, which is more legroom. It's called pitch in the aviation industry. But they're also going to have the big front seat, or Frontier's first class. All right. And it is truly a fraction of the cost. Same type seat, sometimes even more comfortable. I fly American Airlines business class domestically from time to time, only when I can't get a points deal on budget carrier. I mean, the economy class, because I don't care about it. But the Spirit's big front seats are actually nicer than business class on American Airlines, in my opinion, as far as how cushiony, comfortable, how they are. So here's the deal. The most roomy seat pitch, which is legroom in the industry, is only 4 inches off from the most cramped basic economy on a budget carrier, and 2 inches is the average difference. Now, if you are super tall, does that make a difference? Will that be the difference between your legs bumping the seat and not? Possibly. But for most average sized humans, the difference is not as big as you would think between economy in a major carrier and economy in a budget carrier. It's just not that big. I think the prime spot to use budget carriers is to JGOOT as a verb, as I say. Truly just get out of town. Worry less about where you're going and worry more about, can I get out of town this month to go somewhere? I have a module in JGOOT Lounge that talks about budget carriers. The budget carriers are incredibly transparent about their a la carte items. If you're buying, let's say, an economy ticket on Delta, and you get a free carry-on, and you get a free snack, and you get free whatever, Those things are not free, guys. Nothing in life is free. Fight me on that. You're paying for it, but you don't know how much of your ticket is wrapped up in those free things, right? With the budget carrier, they tell you. And if you're okay without it, then you can actually save some money by booking it a la carte. You're only charged for what you're gonna use. So this one I think is a shocker. So here's the thing you can do. Everybody can go to transportation.gov and look up the on-time and cancellation statistics for every one of the major carriers in the United States, including your budget carriers. All right? 98% of flights take off and land. Around 2%, less than 2% get outright canceled. And the truth of the matter is, it's usually cancellations are not driven by the airline. They are driven by weather and ATC. Those are the major reasons for cancellations.
Let's hit the next one here. And I think you were just kind of starting to lead up to this a little bit.
Yeah, so I feel like I can answer this one with good faith. My husband's a commercial pilot. We own a flight school. We flew to Miami on Frontier maybe a year and a half ago now, and both pilots in the cockpit came from our flight school. People worry about safety with the budget carriers and especially the experience of the pilots. Here's the deal. An ATP pilot, aircraft transport pilot, that's the big guy with the hat, stripes on his jacket, flying you on a commercial aircraft, all right? They have more than 1,500 hours flying, and they have annual competencies that they have to do. The regulations by the FAA are incredibly stringent. That is a lot of time behind the yoke of flying. And there is no sort of, oh, well, you just fly for Spirit, or you just fly for Sun Country, or you just fly for Breeze. So let's just pull you out of your powered parachute and throw you up in the cockpit. That's not how it works. There
wasn't a lucky number drawn and the person in seat 36A moves up there.
Now, do the budget carriers, do pilots want to fly for the big guys typically? Most of them do have that sort of aspiration. So might you have newer pilots in the budget carriers? All of them kind of follow the same pipeline to get in the cockpit and to take care of the public. And that is what the FAA does, is protects the public. So
how about this one, Katie? They're planes. How they doing up there?
Yeah, they're the newest in the sky, guys. Average age of a Spirit jet is 7 years. Frontier is 5 years. And the bigger guys are 12 to 15 years old with their aircraft.
And same standards. Just like we were talking about with the pilots. Same standards for the planes themselves as well.
Exactly. So this one, they just simply win, guys. Now, there could be a good explanation for that, is that people who fly the budget carriers try very hard to stick to carry-on bags and personal items, because you do pay extra to check a bag, but their lost baggage rate is lower than the big three. Almost across the board, every year that you can look back, mishandled bag rates are typically very low. So that's one that if you need to check a bag, if you just have to bring 14 pairs of shoes, then, Spirit and Frontier are going to take good care of your bag.
Budget airlines have terrible customer service. Factor or myth here, Katie?
In the airport, I don't think their customer service is any different from any other airline. I do think this was a myth. And remember that every airline, if you have a travel disruption, if you have something go wrong, it's the Department of Transportation protections that really guides what's going to happen, not necessarily the airline. So do the airlines each have their own rules and regulations and sort of terms, T's and C's, right? Yeah, of course. So you definitely want to look at that. This one's a little tough, guys, but you know what? I believe in confronting things head on, all right? The truth of the matter is, passenger behavior problems is terrible across all airlines. People are getting pulled out in handcuffs. You guys have seen the Instagram, the TikTok videos. People are cuckoo and will act cuckoo. So the big three deal with that as well. Do you have more sophisticated flyers on a flight that costs 3 times as much? Perhaps. I'm not going to argue with that, but I'm going to argue that the budget carriers serve a huge purpose in our world for allowing other people to experience the joy of travel that might have only been on a car trip in their life. Yeah, so this one is your mileage may vary and you gotta kind of see the big picture. On average, they underprice legacy airlines. By that, we're talking about the big three, United, Delta, and American, by 20 to 30%. But their on-time rates, once again, transportation.gov, guys, the Bureau of Transportation Statistics publishes these facts, so you can dig in, typically less than 10% difference in their on-time arrival rate.
Well said. Man, that's a lot of different myths. I hope that we busted, because really this is what it's all about. The idea behind JGOOT is that every single one of you watching this should be able to take at least one quality vacation every single year. And so we want you to have the tools to do it. This is one of them. We've been fortunate to upgrade significantly after studying this, after learning from experts like Katie and Mira and Kira and Stephanie and Tom, and I could go on here, but this is where it all starts. And that's why we keep coming back to this. Hey, I do want to mention one thing before we wrap up here, because there have been some more questions, and specifically questions coming in about the JGOOT Vault. We did announce a few weeks ago that there are some big changes coming up with that. I don't have a big announcement today. However, since many people are asking about it, I do want to throw this out there. You can read all about the JGOOT Vault at jgoot.com/vault.